There was a time in Fontaine when the people would meet and witness different outfit styles tailored by various designers. People seemed to get excited with which latest trend would dominate the fashion world of Fontaine, yet they would have never expected a visitor to exhibit a combination of an intricate design with high-quality textures. This was nothing short of the work of Chiori, who came to Fontaine with big dreams and aspirations. It was through her art and clothing that the citizens of Fontaine were able to see the beauty of every stitch and thread of a garment, and what's more, it inspired other designers to learn about the art and display their talents by making their own versions. Today, I want to share some fascinating insights by exploring the life of a very peculiar character using art to tell her story. I'll be sharing some of her past as well as understanding how she succeeded. The owner of the well-known Chiori boutique and one of Fontaine's most sought-out designers, Chiori. To start, let's introduce some of her early life as context. As a young girl who was raised in Inazuma, she has always been stubborn and headstrong, independent with her choices, and made plans which she devotes herself to. Born into a family of merchants, her parents lacked the time with her as they were often busy with their business affairs. This led to Chiori's carefree nature. One day, her parents decided to let her learn the art of using a sword, as Chiori was adamant on not spending her days sitting quietly and studying the art of tea or of flowers. Her persistent nature gave her the idea of using two swords instead of one, despite the warnings of her master. Inazuma isn't actually known for handling two swords at once, especially in combat, and deems this to be improper or unethical. However, it's quite fitting for Chiori to do this since she has a defiant attitude, especially when abiding by the rules. After a brief lesson from her sword master, Chiori left and went home to her parents. So, what was her parents' reaction to this? Instead of scolding her, they were lenient and accepted her stubborn attitude. They understood that Chiori was different from who they expected as their daughter. It became clear soon enough when Chiori started to chase her own dreams of starting her own tailoring business. Her fascination started when her mother discovered her staring at a high-quality fabric and was curious enough to get her enrolled to master tailors. In learning this skill, Chiori was still quite adamant with her beliefs and sent numerous tailoring teachers storming off in frustration. One scene from her character teaser actually shows one of these experiences as it covers her past life in Inazuma. Despite this, Chiori still learned a lot of tailoring techniques from her masters and sought out the creation of new designs. Starting off as fairly grounded, the people of Inazuma didn't appreciate her tailored outfits, and Chiori saw this as their general lack of taste. Fortunately for her, Ogura saw her designs as unique and invited her to serve as an apprentice at Ogura Textiles and Kimonos, but she declined Ogura's offer. Instead, she saw the dream of opening her own kingdom full of her tailored designs in the city of Fontaine, where the people there know how to appreciate new designs. With the course of events, Chiori left her home and traveled throughout the regions of Mondstadt, Liyue, and Sumeru before eventually arriving at Fontaine. Taking inspiration from the cultural roots of each region, Chiori appreciates her long journey and how she left her old home. When she finally arrived at Fontaine, she met a clothes manufacturer named Uther, and the two became inspired to create their own sense of fashion. As luck would have it, both Uther and Chiori planned to create designs which would be showcased at the Fontaine's Fashion Week, giving them both an opportunity to stamp their own brand into Devat's fashion style. However, this wouldn't be the major turning point they expected, as Uther lost his confidence along the way and quit. The weight of heavy criticism to their designs and the rejection of sponsors were too much for Uther, but this did not faze Chiori in the slightest bit. Given her personality, she continued tailoring the designs without Uther and presented them at Fontaine's Fashion Week. Surprisingly, this led to her success, and since then, Uther became jealous of what they could have had. Soon, Chiori opened her own shop named Chiori Boutique, taken from her vision when she was still in Inazuma. Since then, Chiori's progressive ideas took seed and spread. The unorthodox way of using women's fabric for men's clothing caught the attention of numerous reporters and carried on to Fontaine's newspapers. Old social norms were replaced by Chiori's style, which made people dress however they want. Considering the success and how frequently her name kept popping up in Fontaine's newspapers, her old partner Uther did not take it lightly. After the opening of Chiori boutique, he spent most of his time sabotaging her business, even disrupting her textile supply as shown in her latest story quest. If there's one thing I've learned in life is that this type of jealousy does not bode well for one's well-being, and Uther certainly met his terrible fate. Something I find amusing is that her name Chiori translates to thousand weaves, giving a nod to her intricate designs that aren't limited to one. It's something that embodies the phrase of having 1,000 possibilities, especially since the art of tailoring requires an ever-changing process. Her ideas set a huge trend in Fontaine, giving the prospect that modern clothing and traditional designs can be meshed into different ways. As for her constellation Cisoria, it means scissors in Latin, translating to her unique style of wielding two swords. Interestingly, while Chiori seems to be just a successful tailor from one's narrative perspective, she has some secrets hidden up her sleeves. She's not the type of tailor where a client should beat around the bush when explaining their needs. With all various types of people showing up in her establishments, she hears all kinds of gossip from middle-class citizens to rich higher-ups. Instead of showing them the way out if they aren't interested in buying her outfits, she uses this as a way to build her own underground network of information, and even provides Chevreuse some useful intelligence for their investigations. It's quite a surprising detail for a character, and emphasizes that there's more than meets the eye. Chiori is also quite adamant on keeping a straightforward attitude when conversing with her clients. In one of her voice lines, she explains that telling one's needs directly can help her use her time more efficiently. She does use it effectively because when she takes the time to think of ways to design her client's outfit, she usually spends it by not showing up in her shop and prefers a silent and peaceful environment. Her unparalleled pursuit of her dream paved the way to her success, which translates to her personal motto of never give up. With her sole proprietorship to her business, she can freely express herself and follow the ways she prefers. If there's one phrase to describe Chiori, it's to be the center of attraction. Anyways, let's take a look at Chiori's design next, and how this translates to her character. You're probably wondering why Chiori doesn't have the sheath animation similar to Ayaka, Kazuha, Ayato, and Kuki Shinobu. This is because Chiori didn't fully complete the mastery of Inazuman swordsmanship that originated from A. There seems to be a narrative where if you're a vision holder from Inazuma, each character mimics some aspect of A's combat animations. Ayaka and Ayato use the Kamisato art, Kazuha the Garyu blade work, and Shinobu the shadow sword. In the case of Chiori, she hasn't adopted this martial art, but in a way, not having the Inazuma sheath animation fits her, since she's the type of person who prefers to do things her own way. It embodies the idea of expressing your own particular and individual taste or sense of fashion, be it in dressing, design, or manner of doing things, which sets you apart from others. It is commendable that Hoyoverse has introduced a character such as Chiori who has an indifferent attitude, setting her apart from the norm of personalities we have in Genshin. Sadly, it isn't enough to attract players to pull for her. In any case, this isn't the only detail that keeps her unique from Inazuman characters, as she's the only female character who doesn't use traditional getas as part of her fashion sense. Instead, she uses cantilever heels, which are quite modern, fitting to her current location of Fontaine. While her topwear can be categorized as a kimono, it actually isn't the case, as kimonos usually have long wide sleeves, which doesn't apply to Chiori's clothing. In terms of designing characters, Hoyo seems to take consideration into each character's personality and blends them perfectly, translating to Chiori here. Just for fun, I want to also share some facts about Chiori. Her first tailoring masterpiece was Tamoto, which she based on her appearance. She created Tamoto in hopes of serving as her assistant when she dreamt of starting her own tailoring business. In the end, not only did her dream come true, but she also got a doll gaining sentience once she received her Geovision upon leaving for Fontaine. Before the art of tailoring fueled her and getting known as the Thundering Seamstress, Chiori loved to play Hagoita as a young child. Hagoita is a traditional Japanese game where two players use rectangular boards similar to a large ping pong racket. If you have her and talk to her in your domain, she invites you to a friendly match while boasting about her past expertise with the game. Another fun fact is how she and Ayaka once met when they were kids. When she happened to climb over the Kamisato estate, Ayaka was surprised and happy to see her. The two quickly became friends as they played and chatted together, but was eventually cut short when the guards had noticed her and prompted her to leave the estate. I know this isn't much, but it's quite amusing that this short story makes the game feel as though these characters are real, and we are learning about their interesting stories. As for this next fact, players have translated the signages of shops within Fontaine, and the one shown atop Chiori boutique means couture, giving a simple nod to her establishment as a place of designing and manufacturing fashionable clothes to a client's specific requirements and measurements. So anyway, that's all I have for this episode. Would you spend your well-earned Prima Gems for her? Share it down in the comments. If you also have some thoughts about the video, or if you want to add more, share it down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. So, as usual, my name is KlemenTime. Till the next one, be safe and stay tuned.